Hello and welcome to another video from us at Next Iteration. This is Chirag and with me is Channs. Today we are going to do a quick demo of writing clean code with the help of an AI assistant. And we are going to do that with a simple game by modeling a simple game called Rock, Paper, Scissors. You must already know the game. So we'll get started. Channs, you are driving, I am pairing with you, and so is the AI assistant.
All right, let's start with the test as we usually do. I'm going to call this a round. Chirag, glad to be pairing with you again, and I'm hoping the AI assistant is going to help us go a lot faster here. Let's see, let's add our very first test. There are two players here. Let's focus on player one as they play with player two. Right, I'm going to call the test as player one should win with a rock hand because we have three hands, right? Rock, paper, and
Mhm,
scissors, and it's against
mhm.
player two. So I'll
Yeah.
skip that because the intent is quite clear. Um, let's model the round, right? And if you have one round, and let me see if I can get a variable here. Yeah, so you have a round already, and now with the round you need to determine a winner, Chirag. So I'm thinking
Mhm,
let's call a method of winner.
mhm,
That means it's among two players. So there is player one who is playing with a rock hand, so that can be enumeration. There is also a player two who is playing with a losing hand, so rock beats scissors. So let's put that
mhm.
in. And yeah, now we need to create all the classes for this to compile. But I'm thinking at this point I'll extract player one to be a variable. No, I think, yeah, this will give us a winner, right? So let's, if this gives us a winner, so then we can assert here. So I'll call it as assert equals, and this should be player one. So maybe, yeah, do
Yeah.
need this to be a variable. Let's call it player one. Yeah, we could use value objects as well, but for now let's call it as player one. And the expected winner is player one, and player one plays against player two. Let's start either importing all the dependencies or start creating the classes that we need. I'm missing an extra parenthesis that's there. I'll start creating the classes now. Let's
Mhm,
create the class round in the source module. So that is done. That should stop bothering us. Now let's go and create the hand enumeration. Um, so far, good old refactoring is helping us. So rock, paper, scissors. I think AI assistant has made its first entry. So this is good. Let's accept this with a tab. Though paper is unused, I think it's still okay. That's the bounded context of our game. Let's now use the correct keyboard shortcut to create the player class, and that takes in a hand. And as of now, that is good because this is one round, and I
yeah.
believe this player can play one hand. So this also looks good, this name. I'll come back. Anything else? Yeah, now the round needs to have a winner method that returns a player, and it has player one is rightly named. Player two is missing the two suffix. We'll add that. It's returning a null, and it compiles as of now, Chirag, so we can leave it here.
Mhm,
I'm going to run the test, and expectedly this test would fail. It's saying that I'm expecting something of a player, but I got null. This result is not readable. So the first thing I would like to do is go into player and stringify this correctly. So for that, I need
mhm,
to create a field for hand, and then use the and then override the toString method like this. And now if I run this, the test would still fail, but now I would at least see that what's the correct expected
mhm.
result, which is player who has played the rock hand. So that's cool. So now let's go and pass this test. All right. So Chirag, I'm thinking, yeah, we would need to determine the most simplest implementation would be to return this, and then the test would pass. That would be quite trivial. Do you think we
Hmm.
should go a bit further at this point, or should we write one more test?
Yeah, let's write one more test. Let's do. So
All
now
right.
if we can write a test where we say player two, yeah, so AI assistant
Hmm.
is ahead of us. Yeah, if we now say
Yeah.
player two should win, no, we should
Hmm.
now say player two should win with rock.
Okay. Let's try this. Can I say command forward to accept it? Yeah. All right. Accepted a
Yeah,
bit.
but
Yeah.
with
We are
rock.
saying players
Yeah,
two should win with rock,
yeah.
right? Okay.
Now if you come down and yeah,
It's
it's done the right thing.
actually this
Yes,
is good.
nice.
It's,
Yes, it's
it's
good.
cool. All right. So all the tests are running. I want to show you that.
Mm.
So you keep an eye on this tab here, one out of two tests. So both the tests are running and only the failing test is being shown here. So what has come back is a hard-coded player one. That's why it's coming back as paper. But we need to actually determine the winner now.
Yeah.
All right, let's do that. It's a good test, Chirag. So let's do that now. We cannot just do this. We need to determine uh, what each player has shown and start comparing them. So I'll try to write a very trivial implementation. I need to first
Mm.
understand what player one will show, and I need to compare that with, hey, is this rock? And at the same time, I need to say, I'm waiting for AI to pick up things, but maybe it's not compiling yet. Player 2 to show, and then if player 2 has
Or
played,
you need or. Mm. Yeah,
and yeah, scissors.
yeah,
Yeah, we will come to the or part, Chirag. Yeah, that's correct.
yeah.
And then if this is true, then the winner is player 1. Yeah, I think this is fine, right? So let's keep it at this. Uh, Now let's ensure we put the implementation for this. So this kind of breaks encapsulation. Let's come back and see if this can be
Mm.
made better
Mm.
later.
Mm.
And basically, I need what hand has the player played at this
Mm.
point. And now this compiles. If I run, yeah, I think there is a missing return. So let's say we return null if we don't know who the winner is as of now. So
Mm.
one
We
test
should return.
passed, like the first test passed, the second test is still failing. So like you said, Chirag, we will put the or condition here. What if
Mm.
the second player had rock?
Mm. No, but we could also just do it where we are returning null. Where
Hmm.
there, if we return player two,
Hmm.
then it'll
Fair.
work, right?
Fair.
Right
Yeah.
now, the
It's a
tests
good
will
call out.
pass.
Yep.
Now
Yeah,
we
let's
can
keep it
write
simple.
some more. Yeah,
Yeah. So shall we go to the next test, Chira?
yeah.
All right. I'll just reformat this so that there is a line between the two tests. Okay. So shall we go back to making player one win with paper and then come back to paper,
Yes.
player two? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it heard us. So that's nice.
Nice. And let's
Um,
just check if it is done the right thing. Yes, player one has played
with
paper
paper,
and player two is
player
playing
two
rock
is
and
player.
player
Yeah,
one is winner.
player one is the winner.
Good. Yeah. Okay.
The third test expectedly fails
Yeah.
because we are not implemented that.
Mm.
Let's go to round, and like the expected thing would be to say if player one plays paper and if player two plays rock, then player one is still the winner,
Mm. Mm.
right? And now why is it failing? If or
Should
player one
be
shows paper,
paper and rock. Yeah.
hmm, return player one is, and then it's saying
Is the
come back.
first test started failing, is it? No, player two with
Yeah,
rock is failing.
yeah,
So player two has rock.
yeah, because
What is
it's not complete.
player one has?
This test is failing now. If player
This
two
test is
plays,
failing.
yeah,
Rock
player
and
two
player
plays
one plays
rock.
paper.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So now we have to
Player two
hmm,
plays rock. Did we just? Is this a wrong test then? If player two should. play rock, then player one should be scissors, right?
Ah,
Otherwise,
right, right. Yeah, yeah. This needs to be scissor. Correct.
I think
Yes.
we I think we used AI assistant and went with it.
Yeah. ठीक है.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think yeah, pair programming still works. Okay. So cool. So because I think we swapped the order,
Yeah,
player
yeah,
two
yeah.
winning with rock, that means player one should have scissors.
We
It's
got
obviously like
confused.
when
Yeah,
you zoom
yeah.
back, yeah. Yeah.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
I think autocomplete doesn't always win. Okay. So now it works, Chirag. I think all the three tests are
So
passing.
now we can write another one where player two should win with
Hmm.
paper.
Yeah. I think now the pattern is emerging. Player two should win with paper. Yeah. If player two wins with paper, let's be careful now. Then player one should play the opposite hand, which is the rock. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
This sounds good. This should also pass because it's
Mm.
taking care. This return player two
Yeah.
is taking care of that scenario.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think yeah. Now let's introduce. Uh, if what
Winning
if
with
player one plays with scissors
scissors. Yeah. Then
and
it can
player
win
two
against
now
paper.
puts
Yes.
paper? Yeah. This scenario is not implemented, so we expect the test to fail. We'll come back here and add this or condition. If player one shows paper, scissors, and player two shows paper, then player one is still the winner. These are the three winning combinations for player one,
Mm.
basically.
Mm.
Else, let's also assert that player two wins if they do indeed. Should have just accepted that. If they do indeed play with scissors and player one plays paper, so all the combinations, all the winning combinations for each are covered. But now, Chirag, we need to cover the draw combinations.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what is the so if both end up playing the same thing, doesn't matter
Hmm.
what it is, then it's a draw.
Hmm. Correct.
Then it's a draw. So how do we model it? We'll have to say round dot winner is a draw.
Hmm.
ठीक है. Let's yeah. Let's
We'll say
that's the
game is
design decision
drawn
we'll have to take. Hmm.
when
When both players
both
play same
players.
hand. Yeah, that's
Let's do it
play
separately,
rock.
Chirag.
Okay.
Rock first
Yes,
and then
yes, yes.
what is
Okay. Yeah.
um I don't know if I should accept this. Why do I yeah.
It is
It's
not
okay. It's
correct,
like
but you can
inlining
accept it. We'll
things.
have to change the assertion.
Yeah.
I
We'll
think
have to
inlining is
introduce a value
fine.
object, I'm
The
thinking. Hmm.
expected is wrong. No, the expected value is wrong.
Expected is wrong.
We instead of
Expected is wrong.
expected,
Yeah.
we have to
Okay.
now say something that indicates that nobody has won out of these two. So now winner is no one basically.
Yeah.
That's what we have to.
Yeah. Null is one trivial
So
option,
round
but
dot
should we
winner
do
is
something better? We
hmm.
should probably do player
So
dot
either we can
null
say
or
round dot winner will return null.
hmm.
Sorry, there's a
Yeah.
lag. You go for it.
No, it's okay, Chirag. Yeah, I'm thinking, yeah, null is one trivial implementation, Chirag, but I'm thinking let's make it better and use a null object pattern and probably have some notation to indicate there is like nobody and call it as player dot
Hmm.
none.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. Okay. So first let's make this compile. I'm going to create, okay, it's telling me to create a field in player called none, public static. Let's call it as final. It's player and when you say player dot none, it will basically create a new player, not with scissors, but with no hand. Yeah,
Hmm.
that should be able to run the test, but still fail it because like either of the winner is going to be picked if we don't do this. So we will go back to round. And before this, let's put a guard clause. No,
Hmm.
AI is, I think, not getting it fully. Let's say player one dot show, yeah, is equal to player two dot show. Then what should happen? Yeah, then it should return player dot none. It should pass the test. I'm thinking no need for these braces, and we'll give one line gap here and then run this. This looks good. We'll come back, Chirag, to the test and ensure that this also works for
Yeah.
the other cases as well.
Yeah.
AI assistant is kicking in again. Let's see if it gets everything right this time. Yes, looks good. Let's run this. All the 8 tests are passing now. Let's reformat this, run it again. Should pass, come back. Now it's saying play scissors. That covers all the draw scenarios. Let's reformat anyway for the extra line. Then run. All the nine
Yeah.
tests are passing. Yeah, at this point, Chirag, if I collapse all the tests, the basic model that we have with a round, we have two players, we have the play method within round, which is determining which player is the winner or if it's a draw. We also
Mm.
modeled the player as none if it's a draw, which looks good. But still feels like we can do a lot more, Chirag.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess one thing about this, about where we are is that player. So no, the round object is inspecting players' hands and then making
Hmm.
decisions based on that.
Hmm.
And so, like you were saying, maybe it is better to keep this logic as close to the hand as possible
Hmm.
rather than having, so player has hand belongs to a player or hand is associated with the player, and then player is playing inside a game, and
Hmm.
we are sort of digging 2 levels deep to find out what the hand is and then making comparisons. Instead of that, we should move this logic inside hand. This is
Yeah.
feature envy in a way, right? Like,
Hmm.
round
Hmm.
is taking data from player and making decisions on it.
Hmm.
So let's
Okay.
delegate it to those classes.
So I'm thinking one step, I'm not saying it's a final step, one step could be that which hand defeats which hand should be
Hmm,
within the hand logic. So
right.
maybe could it be this way? You tell me, Chirag. I'm just trying to code on the fly. It
Yeah.
could be wrong.
Yeah.
And then let's say
Yeah.
if this moves within, if because it's not
Right now
there,
you're using
then
capital hand, so it won't work, but it becomes a static
hmm.
method. Yeah.
Yeah.
S- but
So
yeah, so this is, yeah,
let's do
so
this.
hand
Yeah, got it.
defeating another hand is the right way to think about it. But we could also just say, does this player defeat another player? So let's have
Yeah.
game call a method on player, and then
Hmm.
the players call a method on hand.
Okay. And I think what you're saying is this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now let's go into player. Let's create the defeats method. This is a boolean. I'm thinking it should be a player, or would boolean work? Yeah, I think it works because we have the draw logic
Yeah,
above,
boolean is
so
good.
it can be a
Yes,
boolean.
yes, boolean is
Good.
good.
Let's call
And
this the
this is
other
other.
player.
Yeah.
And now let's now okay, let's delegate this to this as a hand. And now this is what you're saying: if hand defeats the other hand,
Yes. Yes.
right? And if this is
Yeah.
the case, slowly, Chirag, we can say if this show method is required or not. Let's come to that later. Let's
Yeah,
first
we'll come to
finish
that.
this
Yeah.
implementation. Yeah. Now let me go into hand and see if this is created for us. This is good. I don't want return false. I want the
Mm.
implementation. Can you help me with that? Can
And
I
we need
say
other.
if,
Mm. We,
yeah,
we
so
need
this we'll call it as
other.
other. Yeah. So then we'll say return if this equal to rock and the other hand is equal to, so basically whatever was within the round is moving here
Yes.
now. It is moving
Yeah.
closer to the hand, and this should be
Rock,
scissors.
scissors.
Or logic, can you help me with the or logic? Yeah. And paper
Yes, it's
defeats
done
rock
it.
and scissors defeats paper.
Scissors defeats paper.
And
Cool.
now the
AI
indirection that we are
assistants
talking about from round
handy.
works. Yeah, Chirag, yeah. So defeats. This defeats is here. Let's run the test once, Chirag, just so that we feel
Yes.
confident that all of this works.
Yeah.
But yeah, still not happy fully because this could follow a similar pattern now, and instead of this we could actually say one is defeats, and before that we could say draws
Hmm. Check for
player 2,
draws. Yeah.
and introduce this method within player. And let's again call this the other player. Don't return false. Yeah, can you just check if this hand is equal to the other hand? And if that works, we can go back and remove this breaking of encapsulation. uh,
Yeah.
we wouldn't need this now.
Hmm.
And this is looking good. If I go back to hand, this reads
Yeah.
quite well now.
Yes. Well, this
And
the
actually, this
second if
if condition,
condition.
yeah, yeah, I think
Hmm.
we are thinking the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Let's make
can
it
we,
smaller.
yeah, do this with the ternary operator
Yes.
and
Yes.
again run all our tests? Cool. I think sounded initially like a very simple thing to model, Chirag, but I think with your help, because I've tried this earlier as well with just the AI assistant, but I think the naming in terms of calling this a round, so in the future it can become multiple rounds and so on, and also calling this as a hand, similar to the poker series or a poker game or other card games. And just the naming of these tests I really like now, because it
Mm.
like signifies the intent clearly and also succinctly, so people don't have to read too much. We seem to have covered all the cases, and we are also modeling this null object pattern really well. I think that has worked well. We added the two string method to the player so that our test failures become a lot more easy to figure out, and we didn't have to debug even once. And lastly, now basically round is two lines, looks very clean and very terse, which is awesome. And the names itself, like draws and defeats, conveys the intent really well. So I think, yeah, maybe we could do more things, but this looks like clean and awesome code so far, Chirag.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you stay on the game on the round method, so this round class, like I'm thinking about the responsibility of each of the classes, right? So round class sort of is like the yeah, it's getting two players to play against each other, and it is returning who the winner is, and it has just that logic, right? It doesn't have any next
Hmm.
level logic behind it. Then if you go to the player class next,
Hmm.
then
Yeah.
let's see what responsibilities does the player class have, right? So it gets constructed with a hand, it has the hand, and then it has these two methods, does this player defeat another player? For
Hmm.
that it delegates to hand. And then does this player does this end up being a draw with another player? And for that, note that it doesn't need to delegate to hand. It can just determine it itself based on the data it has about the two
Hmm.
hands being the same. So I think that's nice. And then finally, the hand
Hmm.
class
The hand
itself
class.
has what the possible hands are, and how do the three hands compare with each other. That is nicely encapsulated only in the hand. The player doesn't know what is that logic. The game doesn't know what is that logic. Nobody else needs to know what that logic is. So tomorrow, if like the rules of the game changed, let's say there was one more notation that the game added, the only place we'll have to change it would be the hand. So this is yeah, really nice and simple and clean design. And like you said, even in a small coding, kata like this, there are several design decisions that we had to make. What to call different things, whether to use
Hmm.
null object pattern and what to call it, which class should have which responsibility.
Hmm.
And yeah, but when we get it right, it just makes it so easy to maintain in the future and understand whenever
One
we
last
need it.
point, Chirag. I'm just thinking, even if we make this protected, it should still work. And then I'll hand over to you, because, yeah, this logic might not be public. It's only required by the module of player. And yeah, and within player, I again made a small change to move the overridden public method to the end so we can read it easily. And yeah, these are the tests which look like live documentation. And anybody who comes into this code can like understand our code with this quite easily. Yeah, Chirag.
Yeah, no, that sums everything up that we wanted to demo and showcase. We'll keep experimenting with different katas and, showing you how we would write clean code with AI. So tune in for more such videos and let us know what you think as well. See you then.
Bye.
Bye.